Have you ever heard the horror stories of veterans submitting their SF-180 forms to the NPRC for their active duty medical records and then having to wait over a year or longer? Well, stay tuned because we're going to talk about how to reduce the mistakes on that form and thus the wait times if you're thinking about submitting your SF-180 form for your active duty medical records. Probably don't know me yet. My name is Mark and I'm an Army veteran, disabled. I got all the benefits I believe I deserve, and it took me 7 years and about $100,000 of lost, unrealized benefits. So I learned a lot since then, and I've helped over 600 veterans get the VA disability benefits that they deserve, and it's my hope that I can help you as well. So today in the VA disability verse, we're going to talk about the standard option, I'll call it, to get your records. And this is the SF Standard Form 180 form request that you fill out online that gets submitted to the NPRC, otherwise known as the National Personnel and Records Center. I believe that's what it's called. So this is the standard option that most vets take when they are going to get their records. But what no one tells you is that you should call the NPRC first. And the reason for this is because there's a good chance that your records aren't actually at the NPRC and that they're somewhere else. So that somewhere else might just be a place that you can call or submit a request to directly, just like in my previous video with the in-person option. Now, I've tried to go to the NPRC in person. It's closed to the public. I have a photo of myself at the gate. You can't do that there. I tried. But you can call them, and that's important. Because one thing that I found is that their service is actually pretty good on the phone, which I was surprised by. I was very pleased. They had, I don't even remember his name, but he stayed on the phone with me for like half an hour. And I asked a bunch of questions about the form because I wanted to disseminate that information to the vets. And what I learned was when you submit the SF-180 form, it goes through the NPRC, but just for the Army alone, there's like 4 or 5 different places that your records are dictated by what branch you served in this case the Army, and what years you served in. So across all 5 branches, there might be 20 different locations that the records could be, depending on where you served and when you served, which branch you served rather. So if you make a mistake on that form, and let's say you submit a form, there's a mistake, it goes to the NPRC, and then they send your request to a different organization and it's in the wrong place. Well, you're in this long queue, and then when your number is up, they're like, hey, this guy's in the wrong place. Let me go send him to this place. And I don't even know if that's the right area, but now you're in another queue and you're waiting, and it's like just brute forcing your way through the system, which is causing a long wait. Now, I procured my active duty medical records through the in-person option. So I can't speak with complete authority and confidence because I didn't go the SF-180 route, but I've met a lot of people who have with varying results. What I will say is you can still probably make a mistake on the form, so I would still call the customer service department at the NPRC. You could find their number. It's pretty easy to Google. I'd find a human being to talk to, and then I'd ask them a bunch of questions if I had to go that route. So here's what I would ask them. So the first thing I would say is, hey, I'm looking for my active duty medical records and any other records that they can give me. And then I would tell them I served in the Army or whatever branch you served in on these years. So that's kind of narrowing things down for them. And I would ask them, hey, what forms do I need to fill out? Which is a stupid question because they're probably just going to give me a SF-180 form. But I would ask, how do I fill this out so it goes to the right place? That you show them that you understand there are different places and you don't want to make a mistake. So how do I fill this out? And I would also ask, hey, is there a direct contact number I can call at that organization? Like, which organization has my records? Do they know? And if they do, can they give me the contact information? Because I'm not only going to submit this form, maybe I just want to call them directly. Because maybe I'll have a 2-month option. If some human being picks up at that organization, I can just do it over the phone. I don't know, but this is what I would try. I can't state this enough, but that 20-minute phone call might save you 6 months of pain. So get on the phone, call them, ask them all the questions. At a minimum, you'll have the confidence that you did everything you could to fill that thing out correctly, and you'll just wait the least amount of time that you're going to wait. Now, my rep that I talked to was great. He actually sent me the SF-180 form with instructions. Like, the guy was he was on it. He was really switched on. So I hope they're all like that, and I hope if you're going this route, you find somebody like that. But there's not much else to say here other than a lot of vets have horror stories about long wait times, and it's probably because their claims of doing a ring around the rosy, their request rather, for their records. So phone calls save all that heartache is a good idea. And if you can't make it to your last duty station like I did, this is probably your next best and only option. So make sure that you make the most of it. And what I've seen is even if you filled everything out right and made the request, there's still, the wait time is still longer than you expect. I've rarely met someone who got their records within 2 months of filing a request with the NPRC. Now, the last thing I want to note here is if you went to a specialty clinic in the military, active duty, they referred you out to a civilian hospital, for example, for a special procedure. Those records usually aren't in your NPRC active duty medical records. Those things are just floating out in space. I wouldn't wait for those. I would just call the hospital that you got that procedure done. And if it's old school, then they might not have a record of it. But if it's not going to be in your NPRC records, you have nothing to lose by calling them and just trying to figure it out that way. But I can't state it enough, get your records, because that's the first thing you need to do to take control of your claim and make the VA see that something actually happened to you. Because you're always at the mercy of them finding it if you don't have your records. So with that, if you found this video helpful, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and wait for more videos where I help vets learn about their options with VA disability claims. And this is Mark signing off, and I'm just here to say, I wish you good fortune in the claims to come.